Christmas in Australia means barbecues, coleslaw, potato salad, soft drinks, beach time, the pool, oh, ginger beer, pavlova, and of course, sunburn. Welcome back to another episode of Saints Soaps. So today we're going to be doing a really cool soap. It's inspired by summer, but in particular, sunburn. Now hear me out. So little weather geography lesson, or whatever you want to call it. Living in Australia, which is in the southern hemisphere, obviously the weather is the opposite of the northern hemisphere. So at Christmas time, we don't experience a nice white Christmas, we experience a nice sunburned Christmas. Sunburn, as we all know, is really not enjoyable, and the Australian sun is pretty harsh. So we use sunscreen, but sometimes you still get burnt. So what my family does, and I know is a common natural remedy for a lot of people to help soothe sunburns, and it can be a component of sun creams and sun lotions, and you know, to help, I guess, prevent it as well. But in particular, it's great for aftercare, is aloe vera. So my family, I've grown up with aloe vera and using it for sunburns like all the time, and so aloe vera plants are like super hardy. So like we planted one plant in our garden a couple of years ago, and it just like grew like the red weed from War of the Worlds. So, but this one was welcome. This one was good. Anyway, what you can do with sunburn is it's pretty versatile. You can actually eat it, you can drink it, it's not poisonous at all. Because this soap was, all my soaps are practical, but because this one in particular was more meant to be practical as well as, you know, obviously aesthetically pleasing, I decided to not add any additional fragrance to it or essential oils, because I didn't want the chance of the fragrance oils at all irritating the sunburn. Sunburn can break easily, meaning that you have open wounds on your skin. This soap is just nice and simple, and it has aloe vera powder in it. I really enjoyed how it turned out. It's got a nice fragrance. I'll talk more about it in the video, and tell me in the comments down below if you think that it should be kept as like a year-round product, or whether it should just be seasonal for the summer months in, I guess, Australia. All right, thanks for hanging around, guys, and I'll talk to you later. So this is the powder we'll be using today. This is the, this is the aloe vera powder from Austral Herbs. I have just bought from them for the first time. I bought a whole bunch of different powders, and that are plant powders, and also food powders like matcha powder and matcha. And I also bought some flowered powders like hibiscus. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm wanting to, although I still like all of my, you know, my bright colors and my you know, fragrances and everything, I also did want to explore more, kind of like do more authentic historical soaps. Well, this isn't one of those soaps, this is a summer soap, and I know for a fact that aloe vera is great for treating sunburn and for soothing the skin. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I've just added the lye water into the room temperature oils. They're both at room temperature, and then after that we'll be adding in some aloe vera powder. Also, can I just say, I bought a new blender. I have just been buying blenders from the regular store, like grocery stores, and I've gone through 2 in a year and a half. I just finally went, you know, got to spend the money to make sure I buy a good blender, and this one I got like off Amazon. It was like on sale, and it just splits that in like 2 seconds compared to like the 2 minutes that it would normally take. So anyway, so this aloe vera powder, which I showed you, which is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting used to the camera again, is this color. I have diluted it in a bit of the oil before I added it from the lye water, and this is the color which it comes out as. It's like really a muddy kind of green color. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go. It's like a really kind of muddy green color. And yeah, so it's just aloe vera. So what I'm going to do as well is we're not actually going to add any fragrance oil to this. I just figured I wanted to do a really kind of natural soothing bar, and so I figured fragrance oils, when done right, which is all the time, it should be done right, fragrance oils shouldn't irritate the skin. because they're in there. They can cause irritation for some people, but in general they shouldn't at all unless you add too much, etc. But I just wanted to make it super soothing, super like calming, so no fragrance oil at all. So the only thing in this will be the aloe vera powder and the base oils that we've done. So it's a little bit sludgy. I've put in about 2 tablespoons, and so we're gonna be pouring this into one of my smaller molds. So we're gonna be seeing how this goes. So I'll just pour that straight in there. It's like really dark. I'm just gonna use a spoon to get that out. It's like really dark green, but it's kind of nice at the same time. I think depending, like if you came and you were like, I want an all natural soap, like you're gonna be like, yes, this is all natural compared to a bright colored soap. So this is a good color. This is a good color, but it's just different as well. So it's quite nice. I'm sorry if you can hear scratching and scrabbling around. That is Thumper the bunny in her cage. She likes to rearrange her cage sometimes, do a little feng shui. So I'm gonna mix it up now, and then what we're gonna do is gonna pour it into the mold. So that has turned it, obviously the color diluted as it got mixed into the rest of the soap batter, and so that's like there we go. It's like a lovely, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't like drip it. I do this with it to make sure I get everything off. It's a bit easier than the spatula, so. But anyway, it's a lovely lighter green color now. It's been diluted. So I decided also that what I'm gonna do is once we pour it into the mold, like I said, no added fragrance, just repeating myself. It's a nice, quick, simple, little easy soap tutorial I'm doing today. But I will try and do some swirls once it starts to set up on top, and I'm going to also put in some gold glitter, just on top, biodegradable gold glitter. So just pour this in. Nice and easy. Getting a new blender as well, I can tell you, I'm being a lot more careful with how much I blend my soap. For some reason, I honestly can't tell you why. I feel like I really struggled with over blending my soaps a lot with the other blenders that I used, and I think that was kind of like because they weren't as powerful. So I checked my last blender that I was using, it was 200 watts. This newest blender that I got was like 800 watts. It's a, what brand is it? I forgot. It starts with K, but I forgot. It's like a good brand. Kenwood. Kenwood, thank you. My mum, she knows. So it was a Kenwood. Kenwood, it is a Kenwood blender, stick mixer, the new one that I have. So I'm not sure if the deal is still on, but I will try and find that link for Amazon. So I live in Australia, shipped to Australia. It took just under a week to get to me with just regular postage. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. But yeah, I think that maybe I was like over mixing because the stick blender wasn't as powerful, because I've noticed that that was a big issue for me. It was over mixing my soap, and then it would start to set too quickly, and so I'd often, you know, it's just one of those things you shouldn't have to pay attention to. Like, you've got so many other things to pay attention to. So it hasn't been an issue as much anymore. So I will do a close-up also after I have done this, but we're just going to let this sit for a little bit because it is quite liquidy. And yeah, I'll come back and I will do some detailing on top, just some light swirls, just so it's not just plain and just sitting there, you know. But we'll come back in just a moment. Okay, so zoomed right in. I'm really sorry about the lighting. I am trying different positions on the bench that I have and things like that, so the lighting's not the greatest. I'm trying to find an additional light source so that I can make it look better. But anyway, so I'm just going to use a toothpick. I can't even find my hand on the camera. I'm going to use a toothpick that I have here and just do some swirls on top, but I have the biodegradable glitter, so I'm just going to quickly go along and just kind of mist the top lightly. Just adds a bit of sparkle. Sorry, I'm trying to get lightly, but sometimes you press it hard enough, it just like, okay. Yeah, so just gonna go along and just make some nice swirl patterns, just for a bit of texture on the top, bit of decoration. So in Australia, as it gets towards about, I'd say October, like end of September, October, it starts to heat up. Like, it's supposed to be springtime. We don't have spring in Australia. We just have summer and autumn. I wouldn't even say it's winter. Well, it does depend on where you live, of course. But yeah, so in Australia, it's summertime. It's really hot. Sunburns are real. So aloe vera is great. Aloe vera is great for soothing sunburns. Aloe vera, you can actually eat it as well. It is edible. Not the thorny bits on the outside, okay guys, on the inside, like the gel, the jelly. So aloe vera drinks, like from Asian stores, like they're so good. They're so good. Also very sugary apparently, but they're really good. So at the front of my family's house, we actually grow, we had a aloe vera plant and then it just like exploded and it grows everywhere now. So whenever we are sunburned, we need aloe vera, we go out and just break off a piece because it just regenerates itself so quickly, so easily. So yeah, I already tapped down off camera, I already tapped down the container so the bubbles rose to the surface and it popped, and I'm now just going to do my isopropyl alcohol to make sure that the surface hopefully doesn't ash. I do find ashing is a bit of an issue, so I try to apply the isopropyl alcohol, I guess, as soon as I can, and then sometimes I'll try and cover it. That can also help, I think, prevent that. So this is the top of the finished soap. I will do a close-up in a second so we can see that, and even more close-up. And then I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to say for at least 2 days, because this is the first time I'm making it and I really want to make sure that that sets, because I'm not sure how the aloe vera powder will react inside it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it to sit for a full 2 days to make sure it's nice and sturdy. If I try to pull it out of the mold and it's sticky, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it in there until it's not sticky anymore, because that just means it's too malleable, and like you can leave fingerprints, and like when I go to grab it and like pull the mold off, sometimes it can, yeah, it just dents it too much. So we'll come back in 2 days and we will see how it looks. Okay, so it's been about 2 days and I've got a lovely different colored bar now. As you can see, definitely see the glitter now on top, which is great. So the, yeah, once the wetness died down and it's dried, you can see the gold glitter on top. It's really nice. So the color has gone to, I'd say like a kind of a dirt green color, for want, a khaki green, that might be a better way of putting it. So I'm looking on the camera and it looks greener than it is. It does have a yellower tone to it, but yeah, this is the soap that we've done, that I have done. We've done, you've been here on this journey with me. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it now, and it's just plain, it just has the aloe vera powder in it, but I'm quite excited how this is gonna go. So the fragrance of it has been pretty similar to that of a regular soap, but it has, I'd say I could identify it slightly. It's got a very faint like aloe vera fragrance to it. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like on the inside. You can see here that it's got the slight discoloration ring here. So this is just part of the curing process. So I love seeing how this happens over time. So because the outside has already been exposed to air, that's why it's already a different color. The inside, because that's fresh and I've just obviously cut it, it's not been exposed to the air yet. So over time, this is part of the reason why there's a curing time. Usually different soap makers cure for different lengths of time. I like to cure for at least a month, but usually it's 6 weeks, depending on the soap. Majority of the time it's 6 weeks, a month and a half. So that part of the reason we do that is to make sure if there's any color or fragrance change that occurs over time, by the end of 6 weeks, it's pretty much guaranteed it's not going to progress any further. So you can see here the color change has started on the outside, so the inside will continue to change as it's exposed to the air, and it will all become one nice color. And here is the finished product. So this soap is pretty cute. I'm liking the minimalist look it's got going on. Nice and simple, just aloe vera powder. The aloe vera powder, as we saw when I first put it in, it's so fine that it's not going to be like an exfoliant or anything like that. It's just going to have the soothing properties of the aloe vera in it and the coloring and the very faint smell of aloe vera, of course. So I do like the little swirls that it's kind of naturally created in there. And the top, I'm actually really digging it. So this biodegradable gold glitter is like mini glitter. It's not chunky at all. And so it gives it that like really cool shimmer. I'm loving it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I will be doing more soaps that involve, you know, different styles, low tops, high tops, minimalist, not so minimalist. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and also to tick the notification bell to make sure you get notifications for when I do make more soap videos. So I hope you enjoy, guys, and I'll see you later.